YOLO. Hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon, evening, whatever the hell it is. I'm Katie Stafford, and this is my co-host, Austin Maynard. Say hello, Austin.
Hello, Austin.
And you are watching the Generic Paranormal Podcast this evening. Can everybody hear us okay? I'm going to take that as a yes. Awesome. Moving on. So we got Brandon Cooper back there pushing buttons. Pop in, Brandon. Say hello.
It's happening.
What's a happening? All
The
right.
man.
So the man, the myth, the legend. Okay,
Cool.
sorry, I'm just trying to get my windows straightened up over here. This camera's a little low.
You know what's funny is I don't have my vape. I put it in. I think it's in the kitchen or something. It's in
What
the
are you-
kitchen with Dinah.
Fucking rookies, man.
It's in the kitchen with Dinah, man.
With who?
With Dinah. My vape is in the kitchen with Dinah.
I'm in the kitchen with Dinah. I'm in
get
the
it.
Brady
kitchen.
got it. I'll be right back.
Oh.
I get it. No, it was a great joke.
He has to go get his suck
I loved
pin.
it.
He's going for his suck pin.
My battery's like, God dang it. Gosh dang it.
God dang it, Bobby. There's only 2 people watching.
Those 3 people matter.
Well, but that must mean
Well,
that
2
they.
people. Down to 2. Hello, 2
Yeah.
people. Who we got? Tracy. Tracy's very loyal. Dreamer, how you doing, Miss Dreamer Galancy?
I know. I'm thinking that when you went in and changed the locations, that the notification didn't go out.
Yeah, because you keep okay. We'll talk about this later, but you took
No,
the,
I see what you were doing, and I get it, but I think that's what happened. So next time, I'll make sure it doesn't happen. I see what you're doing now. Less places to.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Yes, that's why I took all the other ones off, and I noticed now that they're all back on. So that's great.
Well, I just put Shopping Sundays on there.
No, you got Supernatural. Okay, yeah. So yeah, but you got
that's all I added
Facebook,
was.
you got both of those up there.
Yeah, I don't need both.
When you should just be sharing the link to those pages. You know what I mean?
Well, I know, I get it.
Does that make sense?
It does. I'll probably start doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that way. Thank you, Tracy. That way, all the traffic's coming to one place, and
yeah. No, I get it. You're right. I'm wrong.
I know I'm right.
Right.
I just want you to understand why I'm right.
Porch.
It's important to me.
Well, I understand that you understand that I now understand. Austin, hurry up, get your suck pen. Let's go.
For reals.
He's trying to find it.
Do you even exist, lady? You never come on, like
Colleen. Please bring my baby back. I don't know the words of that song. I just made that up.
Enjoy your corn on the cob, Colleen.
I'm not even going to sing the rap now.
Well, if it's in your stomach now, go ahead and start your stopwatch.
No.
And then end it whenever you make it a poopy. We'll know how long it takes for corn to.
Now we're doing potty humor.
Hey, potty humor's the best kind.
I'm not against a good fart joke every once in a while.
No, that's okay.
Bro, Colleen, you got any good fart jokes over there?
Hello, Kim Brady. Yes, I have the vid. By the way,
you have the vid. Is that like a condition?
It is, man. I have the vid. I'm walking around just spitting the vid all over this house.
I got the vid.
I got the
vid, boys. I ain't got much longer.
Bring me the vid, boys. It's free my soul. I want to get lost in your jabby jab vaccines and drift away.
It's okay, Brandon. They'll make a vaccine for that.
No, they don't make one for gnomes.
Oh, damn it. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, gnomes are known carriers of rabies, so just saying.
It's the fleas. It's not us.
That's okay.
It's the fleas.
That sounds logical.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm glad Austin made an appearance. That was awesome.
Hey, that's good to have you, Austin. Thanks for coming on. It's nice to see you again. Hey, Shy, Kim.
Don't be
You
shy.
and your wife need to quit sharing. Right? I know there is such things too much sharing. Miss
I
Kim.
mean, boy, I popped up. I try to stay positive, but not that kind of way. That test popped up positive. I'm like,
He came in
whoa,
hot.
I'm a winner, baby. Can't hold me
So,
down.
like these headphones that I have, they're great, right? But they're wireless, you know, so you have to charge them. And I haven't charged them for a long time. And what's up, Tim? And so they finally just the battery apparently is going dead. Started saying, you know, low battery in my ear.
Right.
I'm like, all right, cool. So I just plug it into, you know, and while I'm using it, and it's all good, right? Every 5 seconds, it says charging battery. Dad just
Right.
did it again.
Oh, I'll go look for it.
That's so
I will
so
look
awesome.
for your
I can actually
I
I
will
enjoy.
look for your life.
How about we just take that down?
Take what down? Oh,
Well, unless we want to
picture of the
listen to,
chair.
we can listen to Colleen chew
Put
his ass.
something. Let's put something else.
I got
Let's
it. I got
let's
it. I got
something.
us something. I got us something.
Okay. So the topic for tonight, while Brandon's doing this thing, is we're going to talk about
Kalahari Desert is home to
UFOs.
predators of Africa.
Oh Lord. Okay, here we go. Hey, can you blow that screen up?
I can.
Like, do the
But
movie.
one unlikely
the cinema-
creature
yeah,
may be
there
the
you
most
go.
fierce and fearless of them all.
Now look at
Is
that
this-
honey badger.
Tough,
Okay.
relentless, and ravenous.
Look at him go! Oh my God, he's just running through the desert. Oh, now he's chasing a leopard.
Oh,
They readily take on
He's
all
chasing a
comers.
leopard. You can get out of here, leopard. You can get
there
out
are.
of here.
Give me that honey.
This is my
Give me that
honey.
honey. Give me that honey. Oh,
Even
Look,
Africa's
and now he's eating a
deadliest
cobra. Oh my
snakes.
God, look.
oh
Look.
my God! Look at
Now
him.
he's biting it. And now he's
Oh,
Theirs
eating
is a
his
world
head.
few
That's
people
gross.
know and even fewer have seen.
oh, look at that! I'm gonna eat this egg.
It is
Oh,
the
look, he's
secret
playing.
world of the
Was
honey
that
badger.
was that playing, or was that like
Yeah,
was that doing the sea walk? Is that the
I
equivalent?
think that was sea walk.
That was the bee walk, the badger walk. You don't want none of that. They start
No, you
doing their little throwing signs up. That's it, bud. Your history.
Oh, that wasn't the
Well,
right
thank you
video.
for
This
that
is
little.
the honey
Oh,
badger.
here we go.
Watch it run in slow motion. It's pretty badass. Look, it runs all over the place.
You can't watch this whole
Whoa,
video,
watch out,
though.
says that bird. Ew, it's got a snake.
Hey,
Oh, it's
Crystal.
chasing a jackal. Oh my gosh. Oh, the honey badgers are just crazy.
We're
If
gonna
it's
do a
hungry, it's
highlight.
hungry.
We're
Ew,
gonna
what's
make a
that in its
highlight,
mouth?
like a little super,
Oh, it's got a
a little cut.
I'm gonna make a highlight reel. Now that I found the right one, I'm gonna make a highlight reel.
I think you can do it using YouTube. Actually, they have like where you can.
Yeah, I
clip it
just
and-
got in YouTube's. Yeah.
Studio.
Yep, and I'll do.
Yeah,
we have Crystal Hill.
Yep, Miss Crystal Hill. Okay, so
Speaking
the
of honey
topic
badgers,
for tonight. Here's how we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about UFOs. All right, but not just UFOs like in general. I want to talk about. We'll start
badgers.
out talking about honey badgers, flying UFOs. I mean, why not?
I mean, because honey badgers don't give.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I want to talk specifically about all of a sudden, the headlines are government admits to having, UFOs or UAP, whatever they're calling them these days. Government admits to having these, and that we've retrieved crashed spacecraft and
Right.
well, they didn't say spacecraft, but
They said UAPs.
right. And even bodies, but and that's the headline, right? Government admits to this. So it sounds like you got like the head of the FBI or the CIA or whoever, Space Force, whatever, coming out and doing a press conference and being like, oh, so the aliens are definitely a thing. And I want to preface this with saying that I believe in the potential for aliens. I think that, UFOs are definitely a thing. But, as far, but I'm skeptical of the government. I'm skeptical of the media, right? And
Right.
so my thing is like, why now? Why all this? All these videos they're showing, they keep showing the TikTok,
Yeah.
Tac.
TikTok.
No, it's Tic
TikTok.
Tac. It's a
TikTok.
Tic Tac.
Oh, the Tic Tac one that was
Tic Tac
supposedly
video.
spotted
Yeah.
by the Navy.
That video's
the
been out
Navy
for
ship.
years. Yeah, it's been out. That video's been like in circulation for several years. I remember watching that a while back, right?
Right.
And you know, just knowing the history of the government,
Right.
and the lies that they've told in the past, the cover-ups, the you know, the testing that they've done on the American population, you know, like with you name it, biological weapons, fallout from a nuclear weapons, like you name it, the government's tried it on its own people. Syphilis, right?
Right.
Hell, let's just give
Oh, yeah.
a bunch of people syphilis, see what's up, right? See what
Yup.
happens.
I mean, it's a horse blanket.
That's throw up what Shy said right there. So dadgummit. Did you just do it again? You son
I'm
of a
pushing.
gun.
You told
I
me
was
to.
hitting the button at the same time.
You told me to hit it. What
I know,
happened
I
to
think
Austin?
you heard me. I don't
No,
know. Where's Austin at?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Tim brings up the
X37B.
X37B.
Famous secret. Secret, is that as fuck or Air
It's probably
Force?
it could be Air Force
The
or
secret
as
as fuck.
fuck.
This is
The secret
this is
as
a whole
fuck.
level. This is a
Autonomous
whole
mini
higher
shuttle.
level of secret right here. You got top secret, and you got
then you
secret AF, and
Right.
like
And
you
then
know,
eyes
only
only.
we here on the Supernatural Inc. Network, and specifically the generic paranormal show, know about the secret AF level. So now we have to kill everybody else. So hey, there's Austin. He's back,
bro. So I have a fucking crazy story to tell you.
Okay, so all right, we'll put on hold. But I already told everybody what we're talking about, and we kind of okay. Go ahead.
All right. Well, so I was looking up and like I tore this entire fucking couch apart, like looking for my vape, right? And like I know, like I moved all the blankets, I looked all over the couch, nowhere. I go in there into the kitchen, come back, and my vape is sitting like right on top of the couch, like a place that I have looked and checked like 16 times.
Oh wow! So
it's just sitting right there.
Did it?
I don't know. It's just it's just fucking weird, dude. Like it. I don't understand.
That a lot. I don't know if it's me or if like there's legitimately some 10th dimensional being just fucking with me.
Yeah.
They come take my shit, shift into another parallel universe it wouldn't even matter how long, and then they shift back like 5 minutes later and put it like where it would have been right in front of my face. So yeah.
Right. Well, this is something like Colleen was even helping me look for it.
Or
like it just dude, I don't fucking know. I don't have an explanation for it because I know I looked like it was in a place that was like so obviously like right the fuck there. But anyways, back into topic. What are we talking? The UFOs, right?
Yeah. So we're talking about UFOs, but kind of specifically as it pertains to the information that's just came out recently and all these whistleblowers and stuff. And
right.
So there's been lots of. Well, I say lots. Now, so I do have one of my friends that I was on a show with. I was on Ghost Morgan City with, and I've supplied him with equipment for several other projects he's worked on. It's Ben Hansen, right? And Ben is super into all this stuff. And I would really like to talk to Ben. And, I'll probably bring him on. I'll ask him if he can come on.
Oh, yeah, I have that one piece. That one, the light tunnel tube box thing.
Oh yeah.
I have that one.
Now, see, that was a device. See, originally, so I built this box. It was like it was supposed to be like a spotlight flasher type box. And this guy had a theory that the extraterrestrial drones, right? They were unmanned. They were just like
Extra testicle. ET.
extra testicle. The extraterrestrial, they were basically like drones that were just kind of controlled remotely or whatever, right? But there's different ways
Right.
that different things that they would be attracted to, because they're like supposedly they're like they're investigative drones, right? So if they detect a specific thing, they'll move towards it and check it out, right? And supposedly they take orders not via radio waves or anything like that. It's by light flashes, right? They can take orders that way. They can be called
Like
to
just almost like Morse code in a way.
sort of, I guess, in their own way. And it was specifically the guy that was his theory was that it was specifically like blue and white, like hyper bright blue and white strobing type lights, right? So that's originally why I built the box, and it used to have a tube on it
I have the tube.
Oh, you have the tube too? Okay, I didn't know if I gave you the tube. Yeah, and
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
so it was an interesting little thing to make, and it's kind of a pain in the neck.
Well, it's cool
I have more
because,
time.
like,
If I had more time, and if I were to do it again, I feel like I can make a better version of it.
right.
But,
Well, getting back to
getting back to the
whistleblowers.
UFOs, right?
Yes.
So whistleblowers. So okay, now the guys that have actually come out and said something. I think one of the guys. Let me look it up for sure to be sure. I had it. Okay, yeah. Let's watch this. Play this, Brandon.
You said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured, and the activity
by UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay,
All right, pause it.
so there has been activity by.
Pause it right there. All right, so this. Okay, so this guy is saying. So let's frame out what he's saying right here. He's saying that basically he has witnessed himself and knows people who have witnessed people that, like humans that work for the government, that have been, or he witnessed them being injured by extraterrestrials or non-human entities, whatever they're calling them.
Well, he said, it sounded like he said that there were, that, but
they had
also
a freaking
sounded
laser
like
blaster fight or something. Like, what the hell's going on? Are we really doing?
Well, no.
He also mentioned. Go ahead.
Government officials, like that's like something like almost like the Men in Black type deal, where they're gonna come and fucking hurt you if you talk or something.
Well, it sounded to me like it was more of a conflict between, like, well, he said, yeah, he acknowledged that, but
Play it again.
Yeah,
play it again.
Yeah. Just the last few seconds.
Or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing.
At one point, you had said that they're
I'm sure. Well, do you have any pictures? Where's the receipts? Where's the evidence? Where's the anything?
That's always my problem with the whistleblowers.
This guy is up here, and this is not the government admitting that we have crashed UFOs and dead
it's not.
live alien bodies. This is simply a person who worked in a government agency that saw some stuff, knows people that saw some stuff, and so that's all this is. And I think there were two more people with him being questioned too, and it's all super interesting. Don't get me wrong, but like they're making a huge deal out of this for some reason. Like what they did initially, right? But then I don't know if it just didn't like take off, or I can't.
Well, it's really like that's only one of like several that have been done over the years, like congressional hearings about UFO. Like that's been done numerous times.
Yeah, but whistleblowers.
Oh,
How many
yeah.
people there
There
were
have been
for?
people.
Did y'all notice that he
Usually
used the
it's a
word
scientist,
tradecraft?
somebody that is coming out, say like Bob Lazar, right? Bob Lazar, in my opinion, is the most credible whistleblower. Yeah, I did notice they said that the trade. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, yeah, we're taught not to reveal stuff like that. It's just part of the trade craft or whatever. It's like, okay, what's the trade craft? Is it is it like the Men in Black? Is that what we're talking about? Because like it seems to me like all this stuff is just way too. Because he basically described like combat between aliens and humans, right? That's what he was hinting at it. He didn't come out and say it. He said he implied it enough to where he would raise eyebrows, and people that want to believe this so bad, they're gonna. I feel like they might.
So one thing that I've heard in interviews before is that it wasn't necessarily. Like I've heard of people like somebody handled an alien body, right? And like ended up getting radiation poisoning all over their arms and shit.
Yeah.
Like from like they got like some kind of sword blisters, like they developed like I don't know, like I've heard about that. And I know Brandon can bring something up like that, but yeah, Bob Lazar is ridiculously credible. And I mean, I even saw like the government goes to certain extents, like they'll make sure that like they divide different aspects of the total project up. Compartmentalization so that they can't talk to that they don't have any idea what the others are doing.
The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, so they can't incriminate anybody else because
Bob Lazar really only focused on the propulsion system. Like he said, that's all he focused on, like in his interviews.
See, and that's that his story is believable to me.
Right.
He's smart as hell, and
a nuclear physicist, of course.
I believe that they knocked him like out of the game completely. They completely ruined his reputation purposely, and that's what they do to people who really seen some stuff, right? They don't bring you up to talk to Congress or whatever about aliens if you're an alien whistleblower, bro. They will just make you, you'll just die of natural causes, which that's happened like so many times.
Nowadays it's not
it's a conspiracy if you say Men in Black killed him. Is it?
I feel like when Bob Lazar initially came out though, like Bob Lazar was coming out at a time when it was like top secret, like not even Area 51 was like nobody even knew what Area 51 was until Bob Lazar came out.
I think it was somebody
who made it mainstream.
Else. It was somebody
else.
He
brought it mainstream.
What's his name? It was on Coast to Coast.
George Norrie.
George Knapp. Because he's the big UFO guy. He does
not George Norrie?
No, it's George. Well, George Norrie, yeah, but George Knapp is the actual reporter.
Well, yeah, and Jeremy Corbell was the one that's
he's
the
guy that's gone to Skinwalker Ranch a whole bunch and stuff. George Knapp.
George Knapp is. But,
he looks like a less idiotic version of George Lucas.
Yeah, that's true. No, but like I was watching a lot of that stuff. I mean, the thing with like Bob Lazar specifically, like his house was raided by the FBI like shortly, like while they were. So like apparently they had a conversation about whether or not he snuck out Element 115 a little bit from Los Alamos, and
uranium.
No, it's
it was a element that he said that they had found that hadn't been found
Well,
yet,
before,
and then they claimed that they were able to synthesize it or whatever, create it. No.
Well, they're only able to create 4 atoms of it, I guess.
Right.
Or,
Well, I mean,
like, it's very few particles of, like, it's very limited, and like the way that they had it occurred, or the way that it was in the propulsion system, was not the same. Like that one almost seemed like it was natural, and it was like he said it was completely different, but he said that
I didn't think it could form naturally. I thought it had to be under specific conditions that element.
Well, it had to be exposed. Well, there's specific element has to be exposed to radiation in order for it to produce the gravitational
It's the reactor here powering the gravity amplifiers.
Yeah.
Gravity amplifiers output goes into the gravity emitters at the bottom, and the resulting gravity beam.
Okay, and this is great, but this is not. I mean, this is just. He's a super smart guy. Now, this is a guy that's not just the dude up there talking to Congress, like or who was it, a Congress hearing?
That
congressional hearing. So that guy, I think he was he with Space Force?
I know that guy, that he was like a captain or something, right? He just came out.
Yeah, but what was he? What branch was he in?
I think he was in the air. I think he was either he was an Air Force, I believe.
Was it Air Force
or a naval officer? I think he was. Look it up, Brandon.
I'm looking right now, but
I think it was
it's like households hearing on UFOs, government transparency. There's nothing transparent about the government, first of all, and households hearing on UFOs. They're not really holding a hearing now, are they? It's more like they're questioning people that have come forward. It's not really. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're truly kicking around the idea of aliens. I think their interest in it is it's not that it's aliens. It could be an enemy. That's the logical place that your mind should go, is that it's most likely like a foreign enemy of ours, right? And they're either testing or just showing off some kind of new technology that they have, right? Or it could be a private company. See, that's what I'm saying. That the reason why the government can't really come forward and say, oh, we're working on these projects or those projects, is because they're not working on them. They take all the billions of dollars and just hand it out to private companies, like, these military and aerospace companies, and they're the ones that are doing it, and they don't have to tell anybody shit. So, I mean, I do believe in the potential for that aliens have visited us in the past, maybe are visiting us now, and will visit us in the future. Playing the show game, right? Yeah. There's shuffling things around, like it's sleight of hand. That's what I was saying. It's sleight of hand. I think it serves several purposes. I think it's one purpose is serving is a distraction, and I'm not sure what they're trying to distract us from with it, but it's like a red herring. It seems like a red herring in a old cheesy slasher, like a Italian slasher movie, like a Giallo movie. It's like, oh, this is the killer. Oh no, this is it's like, oh, this is not. Then when in reality, it's this thing over here. They were just trying to redirect your attention.
That's right.
Also, it kind of like tricks people who wouldn't question it otherwise into thinking that these people that are in the congressmen and stuff, that they don't know shit like that already. And they may not know specifics, but they definitely know where the money's going, what companies the money's going to, and they definitely know what type of work they're doing with the money. Now, you mean to tell me that they give billions of dollars to like Northrop Grumman or whatever, Lockheed Martin, all
Skunk
these
Works.
Skunk Works, right? All these aerospace technology companies, and then weapon military tech companies. You mean to tell me they're giving them billions of dollars and they're just not producing shit with it? Like they ain't done shit. They just making the same old like jets and shit with billions of dollars, bro. Come on. I think they're, you know,
I guess it just depends on
50s with the SR-71 Blackbird.
well, I guess the question becomes like, how long does it take to develop something further than the Blackbird? I guess.
Well,
What's
there's a theory for that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the like technology theory, and it's that technology, the rate that it will advance doubles like every year, I think, or something. I can't remember what it is, and there's a name for it, and that's not necessarily. I think it's somebody told me that had been proved wrong, also because there's a lot of things that you're not taking into account, like AI, right? Like AI.
Yeah.
AI is going to change a lot of stuff. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world as we know it. I think that it's going to open up a lot of. Actually, you know, it may be a good thing because instead of maybe people will start realizing that a lot of the stuff they see is just bullshit, you know, because people are going to
Or they'll be
automatically
even more confused.
Well, that's true. But I think the majority of people will start realizing that it's like, damn, once you see so many videos on YouTube and then you find out later on it was all fake or a hoax or whatever, it's like, okay, yeah, this takes a lot to convince me. Like I said before, I have to know who the source is. It has to be a verifiable thing, right? But like, it's bad right now with people faking stuff. But when all you have to do is type in a prompt and tell your chat GPT to create a 50-second video of a UFO sighting, and it does it with perfection. Like,
make it grainy.
You really won't be able to tell the difference. You know, you'll have to use AI to figure out what's been created,
or add a UFO into a video, or just something like that.
Yeah, I mean, just
like I think
simple prompt, one sentence, and you could make a video that will do it. And you won't even have to add it into a video, dude. You'll just be able to say, create a video of a UFO, you know, falling to a low altitude with a bunch of people onlooking and taking pictures with their phones and stuff, and it will do it with perfection, better than the Hollywood. You know, Hollywood's gonna be a thing of the past. Special effects, all a thing of the past.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to be doom and gloom on AI. I'm just saying, like, it may have a positive advert, or actually like a positive effect inadvertently, but it may make us appreciate like real stuff a lot more, right? Like, maybe we won't be so into. Or some people will, though, man. You know, some people will like their AI virtual reality life better. They'll want to
and that's what
eat the buzz.
That's when humanity gets there, then we should start becoming a little bit worried or concerned about humanity.
You know when it gets there, though, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I would say when people start,
how will you know when we're there?
When a certain percentage, even a small percentage of the population has completely converted their life to virtual reality, like from like they sleep, live, eat everything with the virtual reality.
What percentage? Because there's already a shit ton of people that work literally every day, all virtual reality.
Well, I know that they work on it.
No, they work
within it.
They work in it. Like that's what Meta was made for, man. With the Oculus.
Yeah, but they take them off and they go back to reality. But I'm talking about literally like everything You live,
mean like the
eat,
Matrix?
breathe, shit, like
You're talking about the Matrix.
everything. Yeah, in a way. I mean, not
that's
in that
quite
simulation type deal, but like where we are completely eliminating any outside contact with people, and we're just like literally just in the virtual world,
Dude,
and it's
I
already
believe that
bad.
we're only a few years away from that.
I know.
If that,
I
it
would
may
say
only
when
be
about 15% of the entire global population starts doing that shit, like where they completely have given up normal reality and have just moved to this virtual reality, like with the glasses and like meeting people that way and shit.
yeah,
Like when the world comes to that,
it'll be AR glasses though. It won't be the big bulky headset. It's gonna go to it won't be virtual reality like that. It'll be augmented reality. So your
but yeah, they
reality,
already got some of those.
yeah,
Like you
they
can
have
get the
some, but they're still
glasses.
kind of bulky. They look like Ray-Bans. But and they like look like they said well. But eventually they'll and it ain't gonna take long. I'd say maybe 10 years from now. They'll have glasses that look just like mine on my face. And inside you can't see anything from where you're looking, but I'm seeing a whole heads up display. You know what I mean? I'm seeing the temperature, I'm seeing directions where I'm going while I'm driving. I'm seeing text messages pop up.
Yeah, that's like smart glass. They've already started
Yeah,
making
but
those. Like it started it's
Google
infancy.
Glass. Google Glass.
Well, no, there's more than that. Like they have
That was
other
the
ones
first
that,
one. That was the first big one, though.
Google Glasses was the first one, yeah. But like
It
they
got
have other
memed out of
ones that
existence.
do different things. Like I mean, honestly, like I even for the show, I was talking about getting like some glasses that have the cameras on the side. So you can
I have one of
that
those.
it will stream it right to your phone or whatever. It'll stream it right to the camera or whatever.
I never used it because I don't like the camera on it. I don't like having to take care of it, like charge it.
Well, like, but then have it like options where, like, see, that's the hard part is like, how would you would only be able to see certain information, and it would have to be holographic within the glass, but at the same time, like, would it obstruct your vision for certain things? Like, you would have to get into all of that, and that's like a.
You get like, who cares? People don't care. They walk around looking down at their phone all the time.
I know.
It literally doesn't matter. The safety aspect, you can toss that out the window. Nobody gives a shit about safety. We drive 70, 80 miles an hour down the interstate and trust everybody else around us driving 70, 80 miles an hour. And they're all texting and doing everything else. Trust me, like the safety aspect is not going to matter. Now, if you get into a car accident because you were reading a text, then it's going to be obvious. Like it'll probably be like, your phone goes on to driving mode. They'll have an option for that. But I'm telling you, man, like we will be able to see like everything just out of a pair of glasses, and they'll look just like this. No big bulky anything. And I think that's how people will work also virtually. Because I think about it, you could just make it, if you were sitting in your living room, let's say, and you're having a conference meeting and you're looking around and you're seeing everybody sitting around in their chairs, but you take your glasses off and they're not even there,
That's the metaverse, man. That's like literally what the metaverse
No,
is.
it's not really. It superimposes it onto reality. That's metaverse metaverse is like sort of like the Oculus. I've had an Oculus too.
Well, the metaverse is like where everybody like is like an avatar, and you like walk around in this virtual world, and you can meet people and whatever.
The Oculus Rift is the
VR
for it. Yeah. So because they bought Oculus, and so I got rid of mine because there just wasn't enough stuff on there, and it's just not there yet. It's like it's cool. It's a cool concept. Yeah, but why? But why? Like when it gets to the point where it's undistinguishable from reality, people will choose to live in the pod and eat the bug fluid, and live the simulation. They won't have to be forced. They'll do it because
I know Americans are I mean,
And it's
people are
not just
lazy.
Americans, it's
I think
humans,
Americans would
people.
be the
Most
most.
defiant.
We would be. I know. I think that Americans would be the
Yeah.
first to jump on the train. Like we would have more people in the United States
Japan.
that are in the fucking thing than anywhere else in the world.
I think Japan will. I think
Japan would be another one
because they're
But I think
probably
that
lonely, like their young population.
China
has, like, a
would.
lonely problem too.
China
Yeah,
too.
China's
I think.
gonna be on it. Yeah, because that'll be a even better form of control. You know,
But like, have you ever seen that movie? All right, so a good analogy I like is the movie Wall-E, right?
Oh, yeah, Wally's a cool movie, dude.
Like where all the people have just like become these fat,
Yeah,
lazy fucks that
their
they can't even
hover
walk anymore. They just ride around in these chairs with this holographic
It's
screen
not
in
gonna be
front of
like
them.
that because we're gonna genetically engineer ourselves to not be to be what we want to be. I mean,
Probably so. Yeah.
eventually, that's
But
where
I think a good
going.
portion of the population though may go in that direction though.
Okay,
Like
so
in the
speaking of that, there is speculation, and this kind of ties back in. We'll bring it back to the UFOs. So the alien grays, right? Like one of the like most interesting takes on it that I saw was that they're not actually extraterrestrials; they're actually humans from the future that have had to alter their genetic makeup in order to survive, whatever environment that they've had to live through in the future, in Earth's future, right? And so the reason why they're abducting people and like uh, butchering cows and shit, I guess, is for DNA. I mean, I don't know. They say a lot of people say aliens are the ones that are out mutilating livestock and stuff, but why? Like, fucking why? Can they not get that cut of meat wherever they're at? You know, like they gotta get.
Can't get a good fillet over in
Don't have a good
Nibiru.
butcher in their neighborhood, so but
Can't get a good fillet over in
I mean,
Nibiru.
I got it. It's
Or
all like
Nibiru.
weird shit, right? You find a cow that's been drained of its blood. It's been like organs removed, like with surgical precision. Some of them, some stories say that, and you know, I'd have to look into them a lot more closely individually each story, but some stories even talk about how that it looked like they were cut like with a laser because the wounds had cauterized like instantly when they cut.
Yep, and the blood completely drained.
Blood
and
completely drained. Like eyeballs
like
and tongues
surgical
and stuff
precision.
taken out. Like,
Surgical
but why though?
precision.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what? I cannot think of like a civilization that is advanced as one would have to be.
Well, I've always associated like that.
And
well, I've always associated like cattle mutilations like that with like the chupacabra. But like for UFOs, it's always like, yeah, there's cattle mutilations, but like the mutilations are more or less just like cattle dropping dead suddenly. And like even at Skinwalker Ranch, like the one thing that they found was that like because cattle get tumors and they get like they have like what they said like a cow heart attack, but like it's because when they get when something like really startles them, like or like they get close to that kind of thing, they can drop dead. And like, but like when they're in a herd and there's only one that drops dead, or there's multiple that drop dead all of a sudden at once because of like, and that's what I love about Skinwalker Ranch is that they got all the cameras that are facing everything, and they've actually captured like something up in the sky, like in multiple frames when the cows are over there, and then shortly after this thing disappears, there's cows that like drop.
Okay,
like,
so
why?
dead. Okay, so here's my question: if we're getting such good scientific data from Skinwalker Ranch, why is none of that being? Why are they not having those people questioning them at the in the house? Why are they not? Why are they? So Skinwalker Ranch people have been there in the house and been
Travis Taylor. has definitely been in the house.
Oh, yeah, the
and
one
Travis
guy.
Taylor
Okay.
was actually, well, like that. That's like, but like Travis Taylor is also working with like the Department of Defense, on something with
Yeah,
like their ATIP program or
that's
something.
my
Like,
thing, right? Like, what? All these people seem to be, like you want to believe them, but then they're. It's like it's hard to because they work for the freaking government, man. The government, like
well,
all
I
these
think,
people worked in aerospace, worked for companies that made all this money on war and stuff, and it's like because all these aerospace companies, they're weapons developers. That's what they do, and their weapons, they sell them not just to the United States, they sell them all over the world, and I think it's hard for me to not believe that they're disinformation agents, like it's because they're giving legitimacy to a thing, but yet at the same time saying, well, we don't know what it is, when in reality they probably do know what it is, but they're trying to divert attention away from what it actually is. Does that make sense?
see,
I haven't heard
yeah,
anybody ask. Well, okay, briefly they did at these hearings. They brought it up like briefly and casually, like about it potentially maybe being another country. Like the one representative said something about China's spy balloon. A freaking spy balloon is way different than a UFO, right? Like, or a UAP or a USO, a submersible, the things that go in the water. But I mean, I have to assume that until a Gray gets out and does a press conference, right? Like, you're not going to be able to believe anything you hear. No.
well, while I have the floor briefly, I will say that I do believe that there are levels of levels of secrecy. Can't hear you, KD.
You can't hear me?
Now I can. But anyways,
Yeah.
okay, so I think that there are levels of knowledge. Like, I think that the CIA and the military know shit that the House has no fucking clue about. Like, I don't think the president is aware of everything. Like, I think that there's levels to
Plausible deniability,
the,
sir.
well, right, but I also believe that the House, like these congressional hearings, like these hearings, I think are just fucking bullshit. Like,
That's
these
what
are
I'm saying.
things
That's
like,
what I'm saying. This bullshit is a show.
it's a
for the
ruse
American
because it's a,
people to distract us.
well, that's the thing, but I don't even think that the House, like the members of Congress and all that, they don't know any of it either. Like, so they're just
I don't think
questioning,
they
but
really
like having those people put on a show and making it seem like it's a legitimate thing with the House, like that's just like that's overall just strategizing and playing with. It's like just playing puppetry. Like, it's controlling the masses in the sense of like you can get them to believe that it's a legitimate thing by what they're doing at the House, because the House is full of supposedly
they're
legitimate
official
people, you know.
Yeah, they're official
Right.
people.
They're people that the American people believe when there's something going on in the government. But the thing is, I don't think 90%, 99% of the government has no idea what's going on. They have no
But check
understanding.
this out. Congress controls the budget. All the budget,
Congress,
all the spending, the defense budget, all that stuff, where the money goes. They know what's going on, bro.
they know where the money's going, but there's levels of.
They know who's doing it.
It's a need to know basis, man. Like, they don't like the president has no fucking clue about what the CIA and what they're doing over at Area 51. Like,
they want you to fucking know, dude. That's what they want you to think. But I think certain people who have a certain level of seniority in both the House and the Senate, and even the president, the administration, the ones that are still there and have been there for years and don't roll over and don't go away when the next president comes in. Those are the ones that know shit. Like Nikki freaking Haley. Nikki Haley. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna get into politics, I'm just saying she's an example of somebody who's been, part of the war band since Iraq, right? So like, and they're making money off this stuff. Of course, they want you to think it's freaking aliens. She didn't get to be a freaking
But I think like the
millionaire
actual,
by,
the reality of. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I think the reality is that like there's clearance levels, right? Like there's levels of clearance of things that people need to know. I don't think that Congress and the president, like I don't even think that they are not even. I think that the last person to know about it was freaking Woodrow Wilson, or it was not even. It was right before Nixon. I'm pretty sure Roosevelt, right? Was Roosevelt before Nixon?
Oh yeah, he's well before.
So like,
Nixon.
Okay, who was the president right before Nixon?
Was it JFK? Yeah.
Was it JFK? Okay, go before JFK.
Because JFK beat Nixon the first time.
Right.
I think. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah, Shai even says the Pentagon is missing. Yeah, that is true. There's $6 trillion that's unaccounted for in spending. That is very fucking
right.
true.
But it's not like it's they lost how much? It was so much money. It was tons of money. What's up, Jennifer? But yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Lost.
Like if you were okay,
Nobody questioned it.
Let's say you own a restaurant, right? And you are working on you're working on your books for the month, you're budgeting out everything. You know that you're gonna have to spend, let's say, $5,000 on liquor. Your employee, there's gonna be, let's say, $5,000 to the employees. We're gonna put 2,000 in marketing, this, that, and the other, right? So you know where where the money's being allotted to but you may not, there may be like a person in charge of buying the liquor. So you don't know who they're working with or what they're doing.
They're getting.
Right.
Yep.
And so like,
you don't know what they're doing with that money.
That's the kicker, right?
Just to interject real quick. It was Nixon and then Lyndon B. Johnson, then Kennedy, then Eisenhower.
Oh, really? Was it?
Who was the last president? I want to say. I want to say it. I want to say it was like Wilson or Eisenhower, where they were like the last president that was actually like briefed on any of the UFO type stuff. I know I've heard people talk about this before.
Wilson was 1913 through 1921.
Okay, no, so it would be when was Eisenhower?
Okay, so Eisenhower was.
It might have been Eisenhower.
53 to 61. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Or Truman.
Or
Truman. Hey, that's who it was. Truman.
Here in Kansas
it's Truman.
Independence.
1945 to 53.
Yeah, Truman was actually
the last guy to be briefed on what though? UFOs?
On the UFO. Yeah.
Is that like documented somewhere?
It's not documented, but that's like
it didn't fucking happen.
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, this is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? That's like these guys walking into Congress saying, "Yeah, I saw UFOs and dead alien bodies and shit." Okay, well, where's the fucking pictures at? Right? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's cool to think about it, but like, it didn't fucking happen, though. You know, like,
picture it didn't happen.
Well, it's like you got to have receipts, man. You know, like if you're gonna extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and that's just all there is to it. Now, if you choose, like, if we're talking about believing something on a personal level, right? Like I'm telling you a story, I expect you to at least give me the benefit of the doubt and believe my story, right? Believe that I believe that I'm telling the truth, right? But that's just me and you. Now, when we're talking about people that work for the freaking U.S. government, I don't trust any of them. You know, fuck
Brandon.
both of y'all. How about that?
Brandon knows.
I'm
Brandon
hanging up.
knows.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
You're like basically contradicting yourself, man.
I do. Well, no, you have to you have to think about this. You have to think about all this stuff.
It's like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence from people in Congress, but not necessarily a random person in Johnson.
No, you're trying to make it a matter of fact. No, I'm not contradicting myself. It's two different levels, the two different like reasons you're trying to prove it. Like if I'm talking to you, just me and you talking, and I was like, dude, I went in this house last night and I seen a ghost. Okay, like I don't really have anything to gain from telling you that. You know what I mean? And me and you know each other, and you know, like you don't have to assume that I'm lying, right? You could, but you don't have to.
I will always believe that you believe what you saw.
Right. So, but
do I believe that it actually happened?
It's not the same
Probably
way.
not.
It's not the same thing when you're talking about people who get paid by the people who are benefiting from from putting this story out there. You know, the government benefits from disinformation efforts, right? So discrediting people who have okay, let's say I accuse some senator of committing some crime, right? And I say, oh, I have evidence. You know, they're going to come out and they're going to make me look terrible. They're going to shoot me down and destroy me, right? But so you know,
it didn't happen,
right? And that's kind of what happened to Bob Lazar.
Well, eventually, things that Bob Lazar said in 1989 started coming forward, like the Element 115, the different things like the Area 51 and all this, the S4 site existing, like all of this stuff that Bob Lazar said started coming true. And then people were like, oh, shit, like Bob Lazar is telling the truth.
I think he is telling the truth. I think he, and regardless of what he actually saw, he believes that he was that's what he was working on. You know what I mean?
No, he actually did see like
I don't think
test flights.
I don't think
he said he saw test flights.
But like if he didn't see the aliens, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't know.
Nobody saw the craft. He saw the overall craft. He saw inside of the craft and said that the craft was not made for humans. Like it was like the seats inside were not made for, like they were small, like real small.
It's still a mystery then. Like we assume that it's extraterrestrial, right? So everybody's like UFOs, this is aliens.
I mean, unless some country has children running it, I guess I don't know.
I feel like if it were aliens, right, like they wouldn't be so obvious about it. Hey, you ever seen Chicken Little? The Disney cartoon? That was the best.
Oh.
That was so crazy. Like all the spaceships were there the whole time. They were reflecting the sky. So they basically just look like the sky, right? So, you know, I don't know, man. I have a problem believing anything that the government just kind of like, oh, really? Tell us more, you know, like, especially
I just think that
when there's so much like political heat, and it's not just in the U.S., like all over the world, there's all kind of political upheaval, and then you got multiple wars kicking off and starting or not starting or whatever the hell they want to tell us is going on. So like, it seems to me like they sure like it's like you can time it, right? Like if some kind of bombshell news comes out about especially anybody in the White House, right? Anybody that's part of the Biden administration, you can almost time it and say, oh, we're about to get another UFO disclosure. And it happens every time, dude. Every time somebody gets like accused of something messed up in the government, like UFO disclosure, you know, like, oh, hey, look, no, it's aliens over here. Look at this, you guys. Now, I do think that they're okay. So here's another thing. Like, are these what kind of aliens are we dealing with, man? Are they just like intergalactic wusses? Like they just let let a dumb, weak species such as ourselves, they're this way less, or we'll say we're inferior to them technologically and maybe not physically, but at least technologically, right? Which is where it counts. Why would they just let us punk them and take their goddamn spaceships?
Well, I think a lot of it was like the Roswell crash. Like, you know, they may have crash landed for some reason. I mean, and that to say that that's out of
I
the
don't know
realm of
about
possibility
Roswell.
is
I'm not convinced about Roswell.
maybe not Roswell, but there's been a number of other ones. Like there's one in Russia. There was one Rendlesham Forest, I think is
Yeah.
Pendleton.
Where was that at? Was that in Germany or was that in that was in England?
I thought it was in like Pennsylvania.
Was it?
There's an army, a military base in Pennsylvania. I'm thinking maybe Pendlesham Forest. Maybe that's not the right name. But there's like yeah, it was like an air base, an Air Force base or something.
I thought it was British. I'm probably wrong.
There was one in Britain too. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of these military bases have had these incidents happen, and like people, like former officers that experienced all this, like they've come forward. Like,
yeah, but they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know what the hell they were seeing. It's like you were talking about earlier, compartmentalization, right? One hand doesn't know what the other one's doing. So
well, if time out.
You know,
time out. So if, and I'm not talking, this is a whole different thing. I'm talking about like when military officers see a craft come down in the middle of the woods and they're able to go up to it and see hieroglyphics and shit, and they touch the craft and they get radiation burns on their hands.
No,
like,
yeah,
that's the type of shit I'm talking about.
They said it looked like hieroglyphics. So it was some sort of like
it wasn't like hieroglyphic. It was like some
it was a glyph type. Yeah,
like a glyph type language, something simple.
Yeah, that guy didn't that guy get like flashed and like in his brain, he got brain flashed, and then all he could think of was a binary code, and he was writing it down over and over and over again. And,
that's a different guy.
I think that's the same one. I think that's the same. I think that was the thing in West Virginia. Yeah, that was one of the guys that, because he got knocked down, he touched it or something. He got knocked down, and he was like
Camp Dawson, West Virginia. Camp Dawson, West Virginia is where that happened.
Okay, so yeah, so
Brandon, is it the same guy that he's talking about?
It was.
I want to know about this. Like, did that guy
it was a binary?
Well, it was actually like a number of officers that saw this craft. Like, it was a number of them. Dude.
Yeah, but I think there was like two. The guy was talking about like two people. Two of the dudes approached it. I think, like, got really close to it. I think.
But there were like 9 officers that saw it.
Sure, but
they got a great view of it.
Again, was it Russian? Was it?
There's no way that Russia like the things that, like, they are always that the Department of Defense and the military are always aware of whether or not this is human created or not. Like, for them to,
they may be aware, but would they tell you? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that they would. They wouldn't. They won't tell us. They won't even tell their own fucking representative.
But they're not telling you.
See, that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I mean when I say that there's levels of clearance. Like, I think that there are certain people that know and people that don't know. And most of the people, including the government, Congress, all of them motherfuckers, none of them fucking know a damn thing. They just make us think. Like, they'll put these things out and allow them to happen because there's a bigger conspiracy going on But yeah, like, if that is a distraction, that's the distraction. That's the thing, is like they are distracting us with these little congressional hearings, acting like that's something new. Like, Area 51, like their disclosure announcement was like shit that everybody already knew existed. Like, they were just stating the obvious.
Talking about like the Tic Tac video, we already seen that. We saw that years ago.
Yeah. And they're just now admitting to it. So
the Brazilian Air Force video of the thing that they couldn't see with their own eyes, but then they saw it.
But see, that's why I think that there are certain levels of our military and the CIA that do know, that have been working on these crafts, that like have actually been back engineering and like trying to redo it. But I think that majority, like, it is a need to know basis. Like, there's only a handful of people that really know what the fuck is going on.
Even working on it. honestly don't.
Who do you think it is?
Because if it's military, then they can't just say we don't have anything to do with it. If they hand it off to
Oh,
a
yeah, they
private
can.
company, no, they can't. Then they have to. There's the potential for having to disclose what they've done.
In the future.
Right. So they
Well,
got,
and they're
now
fine with that, probably.
they're
30
not.
years from now or
Now what
something.
they've done, it's a lot easier to give money to private organizations funding for aerospace projects just in general. And that's
Like
what
Bigelow
I'm saying.
Aerospace.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying Congress, they might not know exactly what the hell's going on, but they know who's getting the big amounts of money and they know what they're using it for. They may not know what exact projects they're working on, and they probably don't want to know. But the reason that you brought up a good point, and I think that's probably this is kind of where I'm getting to is
The
is
$6
all these
trillion
hearings,
that is
right?
unaccounted for.
How do these congressmen and these senators, how do they get elected? They have campaigns they have to run, right? Who gets elected? The person who raises the most money in their campaign usually is the one that gets elected, right? But who's donating money? Special interest groups.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, right?
Yeah.
You got lobbyists and stuff, right? There's a lobbyist for everything. You name it, there's a freaking lobby for it. There's people lobbying for it, and so they give these people a lot of money to kind of push what they want, like like alcohol companies. They lobby the crap out of the government, local and state and federal, to keep the laws in their favor so they can sell more alcohol. And that's just the way it goes. That's the name of the game, right? And the politicians, if you don't raise a certain amount of money, you're not even allowed to freaking be on the ballot. Did you know that? That's crazy. So that's how they just
So what about the $6 trillion that's unaccounted for in Congress right now?
the what? The $6
Like
trillion.
the $6 trillion in spending that's completely unaccounted for right now.
Yeah,
That is they have no fucking idea where it's at.
Garage.
Well, is that where? I was gonna say if they're so great at keeping track, they know what departments the money is going to, but they don't know where the money is being spent.
Bro, they know where that money is. They know where it is. They're playing dumb. That's what they're doing. They're playing
think that
dumb.
you give them too much credit.
They're all working together to make us think that they're giving us something, and in reality, they all work together behind closed doors. They're all going to cocaine fueled freaking orgies after they get done with their little house hearings. I think there's the Washington D.C. is a sick and twisted place, and the majority of the people that work there are gross. And I feel like I would feel icky just being around them.
My thing is that I think that all them motherfuckers are just puppets for a higher level. Like they're all bought by the people that like the JP Morgans, the Rothschilds, the Blackwells, like all these like I don't think any of them like they really. That's why I am 100% confident that there are certain levels of security clearance that you may have. And like, I don't even think that politicians are involved in certain levels of clearance.
Committees, right? Like,
and I think that those people, the people that are involved, the people that have the clearance are not the people that are doing the politics. Like they're the people that like are just doing like, it's one of those. Well, it's like beyond. I think it's more beyond.
Or there's
I think it's even
civilian contractors where you're like GS 19 or whatever. You got different.
Well, I think that they use those companies to maybe back engineer certain things, but they won't tell them what's going on. They won't tell them what they're actually back engineering. But I also believe, I believe that there's only a certain level of individuals that actually know what the actual projects are. And like what they're working on, and like there's such a high level security clearance.
The ones that are contributing to the cause are the ones that know. The ones that are playing dirty, the one that I'm not saying all of Congress is dirty. Okay, maybe I did say that, but there's probably a handful that want to actually be honest and straightforward with the
Oh
American
yeah.
people about everything. But are their hands tied? Yes. Because if they come out and say anything, you're done, bro. You are done. It don't matter if you were elected or not, bro. You're out. We don't like you no more. We think you you ain't even gotta have no charges. You ain't gotta have nothing against you. You just got people have to think you're a bad person. All your colleagues have to unanimously agree that you suck, and then they will kick you out. And they've done it recently. I'm not saying they were right or wrong for it. I'm just saying it happens. It will happen. So you can't say things that I mean, hell, they'll put you under the jail these days, dude. Like they'll take everything from you. It don't matter. FBI agents. Like, okay, let's talk about like the actual the FBI whistleblowers that were talking about like what was it? Oh man, was it child trafficking? I think was what a few of them were in there, because there was they blew the whistle on like government. The government was kind of aiding some kind of criminal activity. Anyway, I can't remember the exact situation, but this FBI agent, man, they stuck him out and I think they sent him off to do. It was like the equivalent of getting sent to Antarctica. So you can't talk to nobody, and nobody can talk to you, so you can't be a problem. And then they suspended him without pay, and like his whole family, like they didn't have their clothes or anything. But it was crazy, dude. I bring that video up. We'll watch it one day. But bro, like they don't care. They will destroy you and your life and your future if you know some stuff and put it out there and jeopardize whatever they're trying to do. And it's a long game. It's a long game. If the UFO thing is like actual like government cover up conspiracy type thing, and they're then that's the longest game that's been played by the U.S. government, and where they haven't really been caught red-handed.
I think that they play along with the conspiracies, like the things like that. They try to let people believe the conspiracies because that's all they will ever be, is a conspiracy to the mass population. Most people won't buy into conspiracies the same way that like they would. Like, I don't think if people believe that these things are just conspiracies, then that's all that they will remain. And so like that's why you only have specific individuals that actually know everything. And most of the time it's just speculation. And so those few individuals, they end up taken care of most of the time.
Yeah, you won't see the ones that are actually like you won't hear from or see the ones that are actually like tied up with it. I feel like you're not going to hear anything from them. I mean,
there are people
you got
that,
like how many people? Like 200 something people in freaking in the House. Is it 200 or it's 200 something Republicans? I think 200 something Senates or but Democrats. So it's like 400 something people, right?
Right, something like that. Yeah.
And how many of those people do we actually see on TV? Maybe a dozen of them. That's the only ones that really are out there. What in the hell are the rest of them doing? They're supposed to be like, working for their state or their constituents or whatever. But, they do control the budget. They do control like money, funding, wars, funding this, that, and the other. And,
they can't keep track of the shit. How do you fuck up losing?
How did they
like?
How are they in there like questioning these people? Like they gave them money to do it, and then they're like, what did you guys do? What did you see these people doing? I mean, yeah, we gave them money to do some secret shit, but I mean, what did you see? We want.
Well, I think like the money for military spending went to a lot of these projects.
Yeah.
I think so. Like you won't know
they call them black
exactly
projects.
Where. Yeah, they're black projects. So like you won't know exactly where how much of that military spending is going towards these black projects, but there's a budget in there.
Money's moved around in a way it's like laundered professionally. Like you'll never track down You'll never be able to
So,
follow that money trail.
so like that's what I'm saying is like I think
What
that
about
the people
Ukraine?
in Congress they know that it's going to military spending or the Department of Defense, so they know it's going here, it's going there, but they don't know like what, like they're not keeping track of how many coffees motherfuckers are buying in the Pentagon. Like they're not keeping track of all that stuff. They're just keeping track of how much money we gave you.
Oh, they will if they want to come after you.
Oh yeah, they will.
You bought coffee during
Mhm.
you use campaign funds to buy coffee? Oh no, sir, you're out.
Oh, they'll do that to.
Yeah,
They'll do
we're
that
gonna-
to
we're gonna have
average
that-
citizens.
No, they won't unless you're a problem. Unless you're a problem, they'll come after you for your taxes, right? Because you are $100 off on your taxes, but
Mhm.
like they
That's
could.
what I'm saying.
It's perfectly fine for them to lose trillions of dollars or just.
I know
squander it
that's
somewhere else. And it's like, where the hell did
my
you
whole
spend it?
point.
They won't even tell. Like, there was a point
They-
where like we cared about,
Mhm.
like knowing what our money was going towards. There was a whole war that was fought over it and shit. But
Mhm.
like now,
Taxation without representation.
right? That's the thing of the past, bro. The government is super top heavy, and like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like you'll never know where all that money's gone and where it's gonna go in the future. And it's not like, oh well, we figured out that somebody lost a bunch of money. That'll never happen again. Bullshit. You might not hear about it unless it's going to be advantageous for them or unless they're covering their own ass for some reason. But that's the only reason we heard about it in the first place. Because somebody's covering their own ass.
Mm-hmm.
And
nobody wants to come out and say, you know what, I fucked up. You know what,
like,
I fucked up. I would respect a motherfucker for doing that. I would respect somebody to say, you know what, made a mistake. I'm going to correct it.
Yeah, I don't respect people who hide what they do and use trickery, sleight of hand, and diversions, and they're very tactical. I don't like tactical people in the government because I know it's politics, they have to play, but like people with tactical people are calculating, man, and they're trying to play 4D chess. There's an agenda, there's an outcome that they want, and I don't want their outcome. I don't care who they are.
If they're politicians, I don't like that. Although
that's what I'm saying. And that's the people that's breaking this shit to us, is the people that's lied to us pretty much since modern times, like the entirety of the 1900s up until this point. The media has lied to us and has been cooperating with the government, the CIA, or different agents, not I say the government, but agencies within the U.S. government, federal government, to lie to us and mislead us and, test things on us. And it's like, people think it's so crazy. It's like, oh, that's so terrible. You think the U.S. government would do something so terrible like that? It's like, bro, they gave black men syphilis just to see what would happen. Like, what do you think they would do to you?
They gave the general population. They gave the general population LSD to see what the fuck would happen.
Yeah, the CIA introduced
people forgot about
cocaine into the fucking inner cities. Like, you think that the federal government's is here to help you? No.
But my point is, that's my thing though, is that the federal, like when I say that, like the LSD, like what was that project? I forget what that one was called.
Which one?
The LSD. It was
was that
like
Blue Book? No, it wasn't Blue Book. That was Majestic.
No, you're thinking of Majestic 12.
Yeah, fuck, I can't remember.
Well, anyways, there was that project. Like that literally, like I guarantee you, none of the senators or anybody in the House knew about that shit. Nobody knew about that shit except the CIA.
No, not
because
until
the CIA is doing some shit.
Then they find out, like, and then what?
They do a declassified. They declassify the documents later.
But who decides to? I mean, before they started doing the Information Act thing, right, where we can request things to be
The Freedom
released.
of Information Act, yeah.
Yeah, freedom of. Before they started doing that, who the fuck decided? Oh, I think it's a good time for us to release this information now.
They didn't have that.
And what the hell does this Freedom of Information Act? People think that they're going to get something out of that they want. They're not going to give you the shit that they want. They're going to give you the document, but they're going to redact everything that's fucking important.
Well, right. And that's a big that's the big thing is like they can release documents, but they can redact names, important details, like classified information. They can release the document that says, oh, yeah, we talked about this. Oh, yeah, we discussed this, or this is something that we have worked on before. But that doesn't necessarily give you any information onto like how far or to what extent or who or how much.
And this dude, Brandon, are you still there? Can you bring up that video that SpaceX guy or whoever the hell he was that's being questioned by Congress or the House? Can you bring that up? And I just want
like an admiral or something.
Yeah, just the last thing I just want to show real quick is like he's saying things that are just outrageous, talking basically implied like combat between humans and aliens, right? But he won't. But he won't just flat out. It's like he will neither confirm nor deny certain other things. Like, come on, bro. That's part of the whole thing. That's part of him trying to look credible, right? Is to deny some things, but then give you anybody who wants to really lie to you and convince you of something, they're not just gonna tell you a flat out lie. Like everything they say to you is not gonna be a lie. It's gonna be a lie laced with truth, right? So there'll be things in there that like confirm their credibility with you, but then at the same time, they're just using that to solidify your belief in what they're saying. It's like a tactic. It's a tactic that people use.
I agree that is the case a lot of times, but I could also see that like, because you do still have that certain level of security clearance, and you do see some of the things that happen to people
he ain't got no security clearance now. He
Not
ain't got one now.
But let's just say that he divulged information that was way beyond what he has divulged.
Does he even have a job still? Like, what's this guy doing now?
Oh no, definitely not. He's retired, I think.
Oh, he's retired. Well, that's convenient. That's convenient.
But he's lost. But I guarantee he's lost.
Why the hell did he do this? Why didn't he do this when it mattered? Right, when it was hot. Why are you gonna wait till you retire? It's like that makes me think, like
because at that point the only thing he has left to lose is like he can lose his pension? Can he lose his government benefits?
Yeah.
I mean,
the government can do literally anything they want to you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same thing when you talk about people like victims of sexual assault. Like, why not do it when, you know what I mean? Like, you can't. It's hard to say. You know what I mean? It's hard.
I get that, but at the same time,
like, when is the right time to come out and say it?
It has to be done. You can't wait. You have to say it when it's hot, because that's like, if you wait, evidence is going to go away. Your credibility, the longer you take to confess to something or tell somebody something, your credibility dwindles away bit by bit the longer you take. So if you wait 10 years, 30 years, and then you say, oh, this guy raped me or it touched me inappropriately, okay, even if you have a witness, bro, like how well does that person remember the thing that happened 30 years ago? You know what I mean? Like,
well, you would think not so bad, but look at what cancel culture was. But look at what cancel culture was, man. Look how many people lost their jobs, had their entire careers fucked over from something that happened 20 years ago. 20 years ago, man.
I know. Yeah.
Like shit like that, like things like they removed the statute of limitations for some of these cases for brief periods.
Yeah.
for certain
I know.
situations, gave people the ability to file these claims. And so when that happened, it's like, oh shit, well now I've had 20 years to think about this shit.
Oh,
Now I'm
right.
about to file a case. But
Right. Yeah.
so I mean, like when you think about everything that this person that you could have to lose if you were in a situation like that. I mean,
Okay,
if
so
you felt
why
like it
come
was
out and do it
important to
later?
come out.
Why
Because
come out and risk
timing,
it later? Because you still are at risk for losing just as much, which is basically your life now as you were then, and now even more so now because you're less believable at this point because you waited 30 years to say anything.
well, if he didn't, I mean, he's not a super
I'm
old
not
guy.
saying
Like,
him, but there
yeah.
are a lot of the people that you know the people who were in the military, like Roswell people and stuff. They were old whenever they told the stories, right? Whenever they finally told whatever to whoever. A lot of cases that's how it is, you know, on their deathbed. And I get it, they sign NDAs and stuff, and that's what I'm saying. If you're working with people that are involved in that type of shit, or you're doing the work yourself, you have signed an NDA. They will sue you into oblivion, dude.
Mhm.
Like Alex Jones style suing your ass, like $3 billion is some crazy amount, like the GDP of Brazil. They gonna come after you because they want to shut you up completely, right?
I
Now,
think that
speaking
they
of
would
Alex
go
Jones,
further
they
than.
shut Alex Jones up, and I mean he did say some distasteful things about the Sandy Hook shooting, right? But that's literally the only thing he did, and yeah, he's got crazy people that watch his stuff and act on you know, like they get heated, he gets them heated up. But everybody, anybody who's an influencer or uh politician or anything like that, they all do that, right? Like their message gets people worked up. The message itself does, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, Alex Jones shouldn't have said all that stuff, but you can't sue the guy for he'll never be able to pay that off. It's a message, right? Don't
Mhm.
don't say things, and it wasn't even about. Do you think them judges? Do you think they awarded that much money because they thought that they were actually going to be able to help the families of the Sandy Hook victims? No, they wanted to make an example out of somebody because the Sandy Hook. I don't think that's really why they went after him. That's what they claim because that's the most tangible thing, right? But how many times has that dude been right? How many times has Alex Jones been right, dude? Like I don't know. Tons. The things he said, like Bohemian Grove and all this stuff, and he was the one that broke all those stories, right? We didn't know about their secret little uh, dress up ceremonies where they like fake sacrificing a virgin and chant the demons and stuff. We didn't know about any of that until Alex Jones broke that story, right? And he's got receipts, videos of it. Like that shit happened, dude. Like, and so, you know, I think they wanted to make an example out of him because there's so many more up and coming like people questioning the system. So it's like, you know, and there's this whole disinformation thing, and censorship is a big deal. It's like, you know, I thought we were past that, you know.
We'll never be past that.
What, you know, like disinformation can literally be anything, right? Like it all it really means is it's not in line with the preferred narrative. So if you say something that's against what the common belief is, which has probably been formed by the media, then that's disinformation, right? But only if the media says it's disinformation. But when you get guys that go into Congress and they have a hearing and they claim they know people who saw UFOs, that's not disinformation.
I think that it's it's like I don't believe any like really like I can't I didn't think it was that big of a deal when he did. I don't think that the disclosure thing was anything really important.
No, but a lot of
like,
people were making a big deal out of it. People made a big
I
deal
know
out of
they
it.
were. They were because the mass public is stupid.
And
And this is
want
something
to
that the elites fucking know, man.
Yep. And people want to believe it, man. And so they're like, okay, we'll give them a little bit of what they want, and we'll trickle little things out here and there. But at the end of the day, they're not really telling you shit, and they're
No.
never going to tell you shit.
Nope. They won't.
By the time you find anything out, all these people that were involved will be dead and gone.
Well, that's why I don't believe that. Like that's why I say that I don't necessarily believe that. Like I think that everything that's going on, like all the disclosure and all of this stuff, is just a distraction, just to keep the mass public like looking in this direction. While they're still like, even if some of it is true, it doesn't matter because all they're doing
on something that we don't know of, and then the
well, it doesn't because like. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Like the thing is like if they have the public looking at something, then they're not focusing on what's actually going on. So they could be doing whatever the fuck they want to do because everybody's focusing on certain things. It's
like magic trick. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they're that's how I caught a possum at work the other day. There was a possum. He was stuck on our wall, and he wouldn't move for some reason. So I had to catch him, and because I couldn't just. It was raining. I felt bad for the possum. I think he had a partner. He had a possum friend. There's a dead possum in the road, and I think that was a friend, and he was sad. So I was like, I have to help this possum. So I had to catch the possum. So I had to distract the possum while I grabbed him by the tail. So I just took my hand and I waved it in front of his face, and he's just hissing at my hand, and I reached around, I grabbed him by the tail. And they get really docile whenever you grab a hold of them. Don't go grabbing possums, people. I was a professional. I did this for animal control. but it's like, you grab them by the tail while they're not looking, and do whatever you want with them. That's what they're doing to us. They're saying, hey, look at this over here, so you don't notice what we're doing over here. Or even if and it's not like it's a secret. Right? Like a lot of people haven't heard about that money that went missing from the Pentagon, but you didn't hear about it because there was a UFO disclosure evidence that dropped about the same time. So that's what the hell they were talking about the most.
Yep, that's right.
And that's what I'm saying. Anytime something big comes out about like Hunter Biden or anything going on in the White House, some scandal or money missing somehow. UFO disclosure. Time for a UFO disclosure. Bring in a whistleblower. So why is this guy not being discredited? That's my thing, right? Like when you got guys, let's say you got 3 dudes rob a bank, right? 3 dudes rob a bank. The cops find all 3 of them. 2 of them go to jail. The other one goes home. What do you think happened? One of them.
I think it all comes down to timing, dude.
They're working with the cops. They're not being punished. What they're doing, but they're obviously, it's like they're doing the same. They did the crime. So why aren't they being punished? Because they are helping.
Yeah.
They helped rat their buddies out, so they got convictions on them, and they got a lighter sentence, or they didn't get anything. They just got released. And so, like, this dude is just like like you said, a distraction, but it's that type of distraction, like it's yeah. Anyway, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it comes down to. You know what? When I see an alien gray do a news conference, do a press conference, when he gets up there and stands next to Joe Biden, hopefully he doesn't trip on the way up there to talk today. God, that would be so damn embarrassing.
He's
on the stairs going up into the UFO to meet the new alien extraterrestrials, and he freaking falls. Going upstairs, falls like 4 times this time.
I think that's exactly what would happen. But I don't think that an alien I don't think that the Greg coming up and doing a press conference is gonna happen. It'll happen long after Biden's dead. I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Maybe Biden is an alien. Maybe he's
Dude,
like
I
the
think
alien in Men in Black that was like the tiny one, and he was inside of that. He was controlling the dude like a robot, and he had like the little levers. And he died. Face like opened up, and there's a little tiny alien in his face.
Could be.
Damn.
Or it could be a reptilian, bro.
Well, yeah, maybe they're tiny reptilians. We think that they're like humanoid, like big, like our size reptilians. And they just shapeshift like what's her name in X-Men.
Yeah.
But in reality, they might be tiny little lizard dudes, and they operate, robot bodies. That explains a lot, actually.
Exactly.
Anyway, like I say, show me some receipts, man, and I'll get excited. But until I see some receipts that I hadn't already seen, some grainy ass footage.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that you're telling me these things, and it's really awesome prospect that this could be what's going on, but I just can't get on board with it and like get excited about it. And
I'm not excited about it either, honestly.
Yeah. It's and maybe it's part of it's desensitized, like we're jaded, desensitized just from.
I think it's because everything that they've come out with is shit that that people have already fucking known for so long. Like it's just like them, just kind of like. But then even like the people like I think that this guy, this admiral or whatever, that's just now coming out and doing these congressional hearings. Like I think the only reason he's coming on now is because there's been like 10 other motherfuckers.
He's not old enough to have been an admiral, I don't think.
I don't know. Maybe the admiral is a bad.
I don't even know what branch he was in.
But regardless, yeah. I mean, I think that people are only believing him because of all these other motherfuckers that have said something already.
Well, yeah,
and now they're just coming around now. Oh, now you're just joining in on. But
if you look at the House, the people they're questioning him. They're like, so what do you think, Mr. Da-da-da? Do you think that this is what's going on? It's like they want to believe him. It's like they're hanging on every word, man. And they're kind of like leading it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not going in there and saying, I have these things to say. They're asking him questions, and then he's, so the narrative's kind of building based on the questions being asked.
Yeah.
Right? It all depends on what questions you ask, and they're asking questions in a way that makes me think that they really believe this guy, or
they probably do
belief in this guy. Like but
that's the thing. I think that they probably do believe what the guy is saying, but it's because, again, like I don't think that they even have any idea of like the reality of the situation. They're just like hearing all this for the first time, like, oh, this is really what's going on.
That's fucking scary. Because those people that are the people, these are the people that can grant war, or that can declare war, or grant the president the ability to declare war or not, or fund wars. Like that's these people, and they're entertaining this guy. Why don't they have Bob Lazar in there now? If they, why not bring Bob Lazar in? If we're bringing in any Yahoo that, like, we're talking about rock musicians and shit that just got a wild hair up their ass and decided to get into UFOs and stuff. Like all these people have been, before Congress, and not in a disrespectful way either. They're not being condescending to these people, making fun of them for things they're saying. They are like, it seems like they're on board with it. So why haven't they brought in the most credible? And it's not just my opinion. Like a shit ton of people believe that Bob Lazar is the most credible whistleblower in that whole alien.
From my understanding, Bob Lazar is very reluctant to even do any interviews or anything on it anymore.
It's not up to you. If the House subpoenas you, you don't have a choice. You have to go.
Yeah,
So
but
I want Bob Lazar. I want to see the House have a hearing with Bob Lazar, and I wonder what Bob Lazar's thoughts on all these people coming out nowadays is.
Well, he just did an interview. He'd done a number of interviews, like with Joe.
He did the Joe Rogan one before all this disclosure shit. I could have swore he did, dude.
He might have done a couple
Okay.
of Joe Rogan ones, but I know for a fact the one that, like, I was just watching the one, like, I was watching one today of the Joe Rogan podcast, and I even saw another one that he did. I saw like the Larry King one too, which was after disclosure. And like even Larry King asked him about, how do you feel?
What disclosure are we talking about? Which time?
Like 2023 disclosure.
Okay, because there's been way more disclosures than that. There's been.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Well, there's one main disclosure that people talk about, and the main disclosure is the one that just happened in 2023.
Yeah, what about what's his name? The guy from Blink 182, Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, Tom DeLonge. Yeah, he's done congressional hearings too.
Yeah, but
but he's like,
he just got information from a guy, right? Like a guy.
I think it's more than that.
That's how he explained it initially. That's how it started. Was like he had some kind of weird sit down, went and sat on a bench, and a dude sat down and said,
well, he's partnered up with I'm pretty sure he's partnered up with like a former naval officer and former military officer for like the work that they do. They do a partnership thing together.
Yeah, who is it? I can't think of the guy's name. But I like the guy, right? I like the guy who you're talking about. He's on Coast to Coast a lot too. But yeah, I have to watch. See, I just don't have much time to watch these interviews and shit, dude. It's a lot. It's so much out there, dude. It's hard to keep up with. But I need to watch some of these interviews, like post, or I need to see if Bob Lazar has actually addressed this latest whistleblower. And I want to know I'm curious what his thoughts are on it and why this situation is different than when he came out and said something. Like, if I were Bob Lazar, I would be pissed. I would be pissed about the difference in the way that this guy is being treated. That's what tells me, dude, that this guy, he doesn't have that much. He's not really saying much. And he doesn't really know shit. Either that, or he's just flat out making.
I think the climate is different. The climate is different. Like even when Bob Lazar came out, like, and even for a long period after that, like, think about this, like, pilots could not even openly say that they had seen a UFO in the sky. Like, they could not do it, or they would jeopardize their entire career because people would think that they're crazy.
Well, not only that, but you're susceptible to high altitude, like hallucinations and stuff. So,
and they don't want them.
There's good reasons. There's kind of semi good reasons for that. So I get it.
But the point remains. Like,
no,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. And you're right. But like,
the climate is way different.
But there's also people that lie that fly planes in the military. Some of those people lie also,
That's why you can't trust personal experiences, man. I don't believe a goddamn thing.
Not when it comes to like releasing something to the American people, right? Like to the public in general, right? Like if you're saying something and you're saying like okay, for example, there's a TV show, Paranormal Witness, right? Where it's just people's firsthand accounts of hauntings, and they have recreations or whatever. So, like, these people tell their story, and they play the recreation, and you can either believe their story or not. It doesn't matter. They're just telling you what happened to them. They're not trying to convince you. Like, there's no nothing. Like,
it's entertainment.
Yeah, it's just it's entertainment. It's info.
Because I don't believe in one of them.
You don't believe any of them?
Nope.
Why?
Because I don't.
Well, okay, then that's you. I believe people's personal experiences. I believe that they experienced this thing. I don't believe that it's necessarily what they think it was, but some people when I feel like I'm pretty good at determining, like, if somebody's just telling me some shit they seen from a movie, or because most times when people tell you a story and it's made up, it's going to be like very pop culture-ish, right? Like, oh yeah, she was possessed, her head spun around and she threw up pea soup. It's always those things. It's things that they've seen in movies. It's not like they're not getting real original with their shit, right? It's when people
Right.
tell me stuff that it's like, wow, that's an interesting. I've never heard that before. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Well,
Those kind of get me, and those seem really believable
how
to
frequently
me.
does that happen, though?
No, it doesn't happen that often, but I'm saying I don't just
Never.
automatically disbelieve people. I
I
think, yeah.
I am just like and you and I have had this conversation before. Like, if I wasn't there, if I didn't experience it myself, then I don't believe it.
Yeah, now when it comes to me putting money on, like,
Like,
yeah, if you ask me to put some money on whether this person's telling the truth or not, I'm gonna say I can't. I can't say they're telling the truth. I can't say they're lying either.
Yeah.
Because while I don't have evidence that they're telling the truth, I don't have evidence that they're lying either. So
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna tell somebody, like, if they come up to me and like try to tell me a story about like something that happened to them in the past.
you're
Of
gonna
course,
be
I'm not
rude,
gonna be a
ain't you? You're gonna be
dick.
like, I don't want to hear your shit. Get out of my face. No, I'm not giving you
I
an
could.
autograph. Get out of here,
Well,
loser.
yeah. I mean,
Make
obviously,
fun of
none of
them.
that would ever happen. But like, I no, but like, I mean, if we're gonna talk about like how like, see, I would be bad in that sense if I were ever on a show where like I had to interview people.
Yeah.
I would not. That's not my gimmick.
Dave's really
Like,
good at interviewing people. I'll tell you that. Dave's good at it. Like, I'm so glad that he got to do most of that, and because I didn't want no part of it. I don't want to interview people because well, I mean, it's not that I can't interview people. I can, but I don't know. I don't like to a lot of times I'll ask questions that are very revealing of what they're, it's hard for me to word things in a way where where I'm not being too
like
forward.
leading questions.
Or being
questions,
mean
right?
to them, right? Or I don't want them to think that I think that they're lying, right? So it's hard for me, to be like hit them with hard questions, right? Like, well, how do I know you're not lying to me? And you have
Yeah.
to be critically thinking the whole time. If you're now, are you just getting the story, or are you like interrogating them? There's two different things.
That's the question. It's the intent, man. That's the question.
Right. So are you trying to get information out of them, or you just want them to tell you their story?
Right.
I like to hear the stories because I will generally, like, if it's at a location and we're investigating and there's a person who's had an experience, I like to hear their experience because I would like to try and simulate whatever they did, maybe, and maybe I can have the same experience. So I will listen to them, and I don't believe they're lying. I believe that they think they're telling me the truth, and I will operate on that and see if I can get anything. But yeah. So I mean, you kind of have to not think that they're telling you the truth, but you have to take
Everything with a grain of salt.
on what they tell you, right?
And you
So-
have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, you can't just believe
Sure,
everything you hear at face value.
Yeah, no, you don't want to like catch feelings about their opinion or their
Well,
whatever
and for
they call that.
me, well, and also for me as an investigator, like, I don't like to hear experiences because I don't like to go biased. Like, if I actually have to investigate, like, I'm going in blind, like completely blind. I want to see what happens to me. and then I'll compare it to see if those things happen to somebody else. Because like if I go in there saying, "Oh yeah, they experienced this happening," well, then I'm going to be looking for that a good portion of the night, and I just don't want to. Like I don't feel like that's a good use of my time, especially when time is limited.
You know, a lot of times when we're doing investigations, it's like a one-off, right? We're not well, me and you, we have a lot of other people do, but a lot of people just go to location. They go and investigate it once and they move on. But you know, you have locations that you have done like hundreds of times, and we do too. And you know, like when you have places that you can dig into and do steady research at, that's a little bit different. Then you have the ability to say, okay, well, I just want to see what happens to me and ignore the stories from other people and what they had happen to them. But if you only got one night, if I only have one night at a place, I want to know what's happened to people if I can, because those are my leads, and those are that's the best guess, the best opportunity that I'm going to get to try and simulate whatever they were doing or that situation to try and capture something similar. You know,
yeah.
So like it kind of helps to, in my opinion, for me not to waste time. But anyway, we're gonna close this thing out with that, and I think we had a good little talk tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we kept a good flow. I hope the people enjoyed it. If we still have anybody,
we bashed the government. We
full show tonight.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a spicy show. Or it's
Spicy
always fun to talk
meatball.
about the government.
To an extent.
In general, it's fun.
To an
Okay.
extent, I got better things to do most of the time.
Yeah, I ain't gonna argue with people about it. I just like to talk shit about them.
Yeah.
I ain't be like, oh, this person's so great. You know, I'm not like
term
that.
Limits and clean house. That's all.
Get
I
rid
say.
of all them mother truckers.
Clean house and then introduce term limits. That's what I say. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brandon, are you in here? Are you observing what's?
I think he's out, man, because we called for him earlier and he never showed up.
He didn't.
So
yeah, he ain't even in the thing down here. Okay, well, I guess I'll just shut it down then. All right. Good night, all y'all. Y'all have a lovely rest of your evening, and we'll see y'all again next Thursday. Okay, next Thursday. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna have our time situated a little bit better next time. So we're gonna take like the last 10 minutes and read comments and stuff. So, but we've this time we try to keep it like the conversation with me and Austin, because we get really sidetracked with comments and stuff a lot. It's not you guys' fault. We love y'all and we love for y'all to comment. But yeah. Oh yeah. It's just me, I guess, right? Yeah, whatever.
I don't read the comments.
Oh yeah, but you can't. Yeah, well.
I can't.
Well, I mean, but even if I bring it up, you know, we'll go off in a different direction. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah, I can only see the comments that you guys put up on the screen. So.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so next time I think we're getting better. We're definitely being consistent. All you guys, Matt, Jamie, Rez, who else we got here? My scroller thing ain't working.
I'm surprised we have people still on.
Tracy. I don't know who all is still in here, but we love all y'all and thank y'all for watching. And we will be back next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and some other time if you live in the left coast. So till then, this is Katie and Austin signing off.
Stay generic, people.
Stay generically paranormal.